Hello and welcome to the Soccerlens Monday European Football Show. I'm Andy Brassell. Now we'll be looking back at a couple of events over the weekend, starting at Anfield with Liverpool against Manchester United. Now, sorry Manchester United fans, but this is a great thing for the Premier League. More runners and riders means more excitement, and Liverpool really would have been out of it had they have lost this one, so I think it bodes for a more exciting competition. Now, a lot of people talking about this victory for Liverpool relieving the pressure on Rafa Benitez. I'm not ever really sure if his job is in serious danger for two main reasons. Firstly, this is a coach that Liverpool gave a contract extension to a couple of months ago to 2014. With their financial state being as it is at the moment, could they afford to sack him? I don't think so. The second thing, where would they get a replacement, even equivalent, let alone better, at this stage of the season? Not so many ready to go, so I think that would have been a difficulty for them as well. Also, I think we can see from the Liverpool performance yesterday, very, very committed. I think it's clear that the players and most of the fans, I think as well, are still really behind the manager, which makes it all the more curious, if we go back to Liverpool's financial state for a second, why Benitez keeps bringing up the thing about signings. Now, this of course was what really finished off his predecessor Gerard Houllier. Big money flops like El Hadji Diouf and Salif Diao played a big part in bringing down Houlier's generally pretty successful reign at Anfield, and it's something that Benitez has had problems before. Season Benitez watchers will look back to his time at Valencia when he fell out with some board members, and notably the sporting director Peter, who was responsible for signings. Now, Benitez wanted more input and he wanted more cash. Pretty much the same situation as he has now, minus the sporting director. But of course, that period of Valencia was the most successful of Benitez's managerial career. Before signing off from the Mestalla, he won in his last season not only the Spanish League, but made it a double with the UEFA Cup as well. So what do we need to take from this? Well, Rafa, you know what you're best at. It's not signing players. It's meticulously preparing your teams for big matches, such as this Manchester United one, and getting the right result from them. So concentrate on that. Now, if we look at the other half of the match that propelled Liverpool into this crisis, being their worst run in 22 years, Lyon, beating them in the Champions League in the week. Well, Liverpool managed to reverse the trend from the Champions League game in midweek. So did Lyon. They were hammered 4-1 at Nice and leapfrogged in the French league table by Bordeaux and by Monaco, who are having a terrific season thus far under Guy Lecomte, doing a great job there. But what they're talking about in France today is not about these games, but about the match that didn't happen, the Super Classico between France's most enthusiastically followed clubs, Marseille and Paris Saint-Germain. Now, this was called off, the big match from Sunday night, because of a swine flu outbreak in the Paris Saint-Germain camp. In the end, 4 players going down with it, as well as the fitness trainer of the squad. Now, really, the controversy is over the late postponement of it, and the president of the league, Frédéric Thiriez, is receiving a lot of criticism for that. Called off just 7 hours before kickoff, and it led to a great deal of problems because, of course, various people had warned Thiriez about he was leaving it a little bit too late, and most of the 2,000 Paris Saint-Germain fans who were due to go down to the south coast for this game went, and as soon as the game was called off, well, a lot of trouble kicked off in the town. Here we have in today's paper fury in the town, and some pictures of some very unsavoury incidents there. One supporter stabbed another Parisian fan, had his leg broken in clashes that broke out in the town. And there's been a lot of work done over the last few years to calm down this sort of tinderbox atmosphere that often exists in the derby of France, and a lot of that has been undone. Now, I have some sympathy with Thiriez. He was waiting for all the reports to come in from the medical experts. It was early on Saturday that the cases of swine flu for Ludovic Judy and Mamadou Sakho were confirmed, but the ones of Jeremy Clement and Loris Arnaud not confirmed until later. Paris Saint-Germain have not really covered themselves in glory here either. Jeremy Clement, even though he was showing symptoms, was still allowed to mix with the rest of the squad, play cards with them, hang out with them, but without wearing a protective mask, which it seems has proved to be a really bad error. Also, Marseille, that they were a little impatient, very anxious to get this game played. If not now, then on Wednesday. We can see here, l'OM veut jouer mercredi. Paris want to play on Wednesday. Now I think this is a little soon. Paris Saint-Germain players are going to be in quarantine until Wednesday at least. We can see a little picture of them with their protective masks there. Perhaps not just the players but the support staff too. So whether that will happen, I really don't know. Now there's a lot of pressure on Marseille at the moment, not just because they've got their Champions League games, but a full programme of fixtures that were programmed for this midweek have been called off as the national team continue to prepare for the World Cup playoff with the Republic of Ireland. So whatever happens, whatever the final resolution is, there are some people who are going to be pretty unhappy about what's gone on. Now, what we would like to happen in future is there to be a more interactive element to this show. So we'd like you to contribute with your questions, your queries about European football. Send them in. And at this point in the show, I'll attempt to answer them for you. Now, to get the ball rolling, we've got one from our editor, Ahmed. Now, he's asked about João Moutinho, Miguel Veloso, the Sporting Lisbon players. They've been linked with moves over the last couple of summers to Spain and England, but nothing's materialised. Have they got the quality to make it into the starting lineup of any Champions League team? Well, it's an interesting question. I would say potentially they do. The reason the moves haven't happened over the last couple of years, I think money's a big part of it. These are two products of the prestigious Sporting Academy and they want to get full value for them. I think also there's a question of progression. Now, these aren't just promising young players, but proper first teamers, and it's been brought into stark relief by the declining of the golden generation from the Portugal national team, the likes of Luis Figo, Rui Costa, Paletta retiring. They've needed some players to step into the breach, and some of these younger players, the likes of Moutinho, a box-to-box midfielder who I think will probably do a pretty good job in England, and Veloso, who's a defensive midfielder with great passing, he can play at left back. They should have progressed to the level where they're able to step into that gap, but they haven't quite done it yet. Veloso had a sort of fractious relationship with his coach Paulo Bento last season, which has hindered his progression. Moutinho, a few personal worries connected to a failed business venture, which meant he started last season a little bit unsettled. Certainly that they can do their stuff in the Europa League and in the Portuguese League this season, but I think there may be big pressure on Sporting to sell when it comes to next summer, particularly if they don't make the Champions League, as it looks at the moment as if they might not. So a big season for those two ahead anyway in terms of their own personal development. Well, anyway, thanks for joining us. You can catch up with me on Soccerlens next Monday, of course, or in the meantime on my own site, www.allornothingtv.net. You can also follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/Andy Brassell. Hope you enjoy the games that are coming up this week and at the weekend, and we'll see you again next Monday.